Well, hello friends, and welcome back to some Hearthstone, and what will hopefully be a real Hearthstone match, if you saw the last Mildred game. But this time we decided to bring a Devolve Shaman for real onto the ladder here. And this is basically a take on the Control Shaman, which I've played a few games and posted a few different games about online. If this guy attacks, we know he's aggro. And it looks like maybe we're going up against some sort of mid-range. I definitely think this control variant beats the mid-range variant of Shaman most times. Although if our opponent's just doing these sort of moves, maybe our opponent's also a slower style of Shaman, which, to be honest with you, has become a little bit popular. People have been talking about it online. Ooh. Healing Totem versus Healing Totem. That's always cool. And if this is a control versus control matchup, I think the real key is to make sure that we hex their Aya, and that we hit a Bran on at least one Jade target. Right now we're not going to do anything. The reason why I kept the Ginyu, or Ginyu, the Ginyu Force? No, the Ginyu Force. The Ginyu water speaker here is because I was expecting aggro, I was expecting an aggressive opponent, an aggressive Shaman, and that's kind of why, not kind of, that's exactly why we have this deck, to be honest with you. In order to beat these aggressive variants. We can totem coin thing from below or just thing from below. Looks like we're playing an exact, not only playing a mirror match, but we're playing a mirror match. Which is kind of funny. We played basically exactly the same cards, except I don't have Spirit Claws. Which is okay. We'll get out of here alive eventually. And then the real key, like I said, for us to win, I think really we're going to need a double brand. If not a triple, which is possible actually with this deck, because the mid-range version that I've been playing didn't have the Jade Spirits. Little Jade Spirits, the 4 mana 2/3s. Whereas this version does. Wow, if we top deck thing from below, it was meant to be. I really hope we play every single card that's the same. That's unfortunate. What can we do though? This is pretty bad play. This is an awful play. Lightning Storm doesn't buy us anything. Like, what do we even want to see next turn? We kind of want to see a Jade Lightning, like a top deck Jade Lightning with spell power out. The Elemental Destruction's super overkill for this board. I think we're definitely going to need to save this for much later. I'll go ahead and take a hit, to be honest. And then, I mean, I did say that this deck is geared to, or teched towards being able to beat aggro. Oh boy, here we go. Now we got a game. Like I was saying, yeah, we are teched a little bit towards beating aggro, which is cool. And one of the things that's missing then is Halazeel, but in order to make room, and we could take out a Jade Spirit or something, but then we're kind of missing our real control aspect of this deck. A real control win condition. I don't know what our opponent's going to do here. I think I might be forced to Elemental Destruction, unfortunately. We could go coin. I mean, I feel like I'm dead to Bloodlust, which would be crazy, but with these control decks, you really can't afford to run a Bloodlust. If that died, I would have honestly considered coining out the Jade Spirit, but because it didn't, we're just going to play like this. We're going to play slow here. I mean, that was 2 of my cards. Took out how many of my opponents? I guess 2.5, really. Not that big of a gain there. There we go. Here's some Jade action. So we honestly could Jade it out now. There's really no harm in doing that, I don't think. And although we could also just Water Speaker and pass. Setting up, I mean, that gameplay basically aims then to also hit our... Where did my mouse go? My mouse goes underneath the cards. Oops. I feel like this is an okay play just because we're both kind of playing very, very slow. So if I don't top deck Jade Claws in a turn or two, I'm basically going to be forced to throw out the Bran. Because there are going to be limitations. And we have the Hex now, which is great because that's going to be the way that we deal with our opponent's Aya. That's a clearing, I guess, of the Ginyu. And our opponent's got really good value off of their Spirit Claws, which is unfortunate. But, you know, that happens. That's sometimes just the way she goes. And so if there is an Aya thrown out now, we just get to Hex it very nicely. If our opponent kind of totally misses, that's okay. That's an okay turn. We can't honestly be upset with that. We have to expect these sorts of things happen. That was what the card I needed a few turns ago. And honestly, I think we're going to go for it now.
Who knows what secrets will uncover?
And I think this is okay. I mean, we know Bran is dead on board, but just because it helps us ramp our Jades up, basically this means our opponent's going to be forced to be doing exactly the same sort of thing with ramping up their Jades, which is okay. And yeah, like as predicted, our opponent's going to trade in, which is good and bad. They didn't use any AoE, which we, coming up against the Shaman, we always expect them to have lots and lots of AoEs. And now we kind of have a little bit of a debate, actually, or at least we can have a little bit of a debate as to how we're going to be playing this. We don't want to waste all of our AoE. We did play one Elemental Destruction. Top decking Maelstrom Portal would be the best. Maelstrom Portal? Nope. I mean, we can do some things, but just clearing some totems and then playing some bigger taunts. That might be a little awkward for our opponent to deal with, although if they're running exactly the same deck, they're going to have their own Elemental Destruction. So that's not really going to help us. We could Lightning Storm here. I think that's a reasonable Lightning Storm. It hits the 3s. We're not going to have a better opportunity. And I don't mind doing this simply because it gets the 5-5 on board. Well, it actually gets 8-8 on board, which is nice. And I mean, we're definitely not threatening lethal. We don't have any sort of Alakir or Flame Tongue totem. Well, I guess Flame Tongue is more important for burst. But we do have a little bit of damage from hand. That's 10, 15, 17. So it's definitely not lethal unless we top deck another Jade Lightning. But that's not something that we're expecting to do right now. Oh. Overwriting a weapon for our opponent is an okay move, I guess. I guess top deck second Jade Lightning is lethal. That's not lethal, is it? Wait, how close was I? 10, 12, 14, 16. Set him at 2. Setting our opponent at 2 is kind of... It's kind of asking to get healing waved, to be honest. We'll go ahead and attack in. That was kind of a half measure. We're expecting to have the board cleared here. And because this is Shaman, the reason why I didn't want to go all in, I didn't want to also throw in a thing from below. Whoa! What is this? Okay, I was going to say, whoa, that's a really, really strange move if there's no other healing play. And that's a healing of, what is it now, 14? So that's up to 23? That's not going to be a Hex. If that's a Hex, that's great. Oh, that is great! That is fantastic for us, because we're going to be able to continue to chip away at our opponent's hit points. They're back up to 5 cards next turn, which is okay, but nothing's really changed now. And that was just a Hex as well, and this is a fantastic card for us to see. After a Hex. I have to make sure there is room, which is good. And I'm not going to attack in this time. I am going to save our last weapon charge here. And I mean, the issue is I never want to commit too much to board here against Shaman at this point, because... especially these smaller minions, it's just so easy to get Elemental Destruction down, as I very much expect may happen. Oh, and second Hex. Second Hex is alright. Jade Lightning, I wonder if we have lethal now. This is 5, this is 10. 12, 14, 16. 16 is definitely not lethal. We're close though. We'll do it this way. Maelstrom Portal. Oh, that's actually a very decent... That's a very decent card that we just got. And I'm not going to play anything, I don't think. Should we Hero Power? No, we'll leave the board to have space for one more minion. This is definitely not how a lot of my Shaman versus Shaman, or at least Jade Shaman versus Jade Shaman matchups have gone recently, let's just say. I've definitely been having a little bit of struggles against these sorts of matchups, but it is definitely fun and enjoyable to see the deck work out like this. 5. Oh, that's painful. Oh, that is a little painful right now, friends. Let's see what we can do about this. Oh, that's another Jade. That's a problem. Oh, a Devolve is actually kind of hilarious here, because this just goes to 5 and 4, and usually they're going to be more poorly statted than what we're looking at right now. Yeah. That's kind of okay. We now have options, actually. Because of the weapon, actually, that does slow us down a little bit. Oh, if we had AoEs. If we had AoEs. Although I think we can just trade in here and then just play some big minions. I think this is a very acceptable play. I mean, our opponent could honestly be holding Elemental Destruction and we still get wrecked. But I don't even know that that's like a real punish. Our opponent went basically all in with their hand. We answered and then kind of went all in, threatening lethal. So I think it's a reasonable counterplay in this situation. Although again, maybe it was overextending. I guess I could have just left the Jade Golem. Lightning Storm. I don't think that clears. And that is an extra draw, which is nice. Oh, and that's a really good draw for us. That is a very, very good draw. Yeah, it's not a clear board, but we don't get any damage into face, which is fine. We do set up again, you know, 7 mana, 12/12, part of which has taunt. Pretty good card at this point in the game. I don't know what else our opponent could be thinking about. Maybe they're... Whoa! Or maybe they just have another healing and they don't care at this point. Or maybe they have way to deal 2 damage? No? Interesting. We'll never do that, so we'll just go ahead and attack through here. Oh, and maybe we get a... I guess healing is something. Spell powers, whatever. And at this point I really don't mind again committing. A 7/7 is not getting taken out without at least 2 cards. And I mean, having that much pressure on our opponent for so long, it kind of made sense that eventually we were able to get through. Oh, and we did punch. I don't even know I was on a win streak, friends, but I'm glad you were here with me to share it. We make it to rank 8. Always a good time, 1 extra star to start next season. Thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. If you want to be seeing more videos like this, feel free to subscribe. Big red button below, and I'll see you next time.